Good morning. It is new bike day for me. It's not a new bike, but it is to me. It's a 2022 Husqvarna T250i. I love my Beta 200, but I thought I would try something else. So I did have my eye on a 250 Beta, a brand new one, just the RR model, because I don't see the point. I can get the open chambers working pretty good to what I want, instead of having to go for the race model, and I don't mind the oil injection. So, but anyway, this came up on either Marketplace, no, it must be Marketplace, for a good price. I went and had a look at the bike, and it's very straight, no scratches, and very little use. So a 2022 would have come out in the back half of 21, so for like a 2-year-old bike, I suppose, it had 25 hours on it. So, and from talking to the owner, he had broken his wrist and I sat in his shed for a year. When I looked at it, he had I thought I had a fork seal that was leaking on the left fork, so I gave it a bit of a putt round to test the gearbox, and it seemed fine to me. When I got home though, both fork seals were leaking, so not too many buyers will give you some money back for repairing issues with the bike, so kudos to him, and I intend to do the same thing if ever I was to sell something and it wasn't quite right. So I bought it before flying out last swing, so I've been away for a 2-week swing on nights, so coming off was a bit crappy for me coming off night shift, so which didn't bother me because it's been really hot, fire bans here in Perth, and I've been waiting for parts anyway. So the guy had lowered it, so I wanted to put the suspension back to normal again, and because I weigh 108 kilos, I've gone up with heavier springs. So I've got a 4.6 Newton per millimeter front springs, and I've got 48 Newtons per millimeter rear spring. So I have revalved both front and back, and I've put a nitrogen bladder conversion kit into it from Technic Motorsport from over there east Australia there, New South Wales, Victoria, I can't remember. But that bladder kit has caused a little bit of issues with the way that I run my vacuum pump and to fill and evacuate the air. So I was going to document it with a video on how to, but it was a lot of mucking around on my part to work out why things weren't working. So when I'd pressure up the bladder to 6 bar like I would for a mate's suspension that he's got a bladder kit in, it would then block off the holes for where the oil comes in and out through the DCC. So anyway, I'll do that next time. What have I added to the bike? I've added the P-Tech rear disc fin, the P-Tech bash guard, pipe guard with the linkage protector, because I do think they're a really good product. They fit your bike like a glove. They look really good too. And I've also gone with radiator braces. The P-Tech radiator braces have the fan mount, so all I've done is look for a small fan. There's a part number that I had on my other Beta, so I've just searched that, and I could get it on eBay for $50 cheaper. So, and I am going to just run it off the relay that comes underneath the seat, rather than run the whole Trail Tech fan that you can control on and off. The ECU, I believe, turns on the fan at 80 or 90 degrees, so I'll be keeping an eye out for that. Going out for a ride today. It's the first day that there hasn't been a total fire ban, which means no four-wheel driving or off-road activities where I'm riding, but there has been a fire out there, so this may be a drive in vain if they're doing the containment lines where I ride. I'm going to try and go through how I set up my suspension suspension, and I know a few videos ago I said I was suspension test, and I didn't really actually say what I was doing. I just rode the bike. So today I'll go through how I've set up things with sag and stuff like that, and then clickers, and then when I'm riding, what I'm hoping to feel, and see what happens. So I do think some fork oil's gotten into the front brake pads, because they don't stop as good as in the backyard. They don't seem to have the same feel as my beaters. I love my beater 200, so we'll see if, hopefully I don't regret this buy, but I wanted something a little bit more powerful, but I didn't want the 300 because the 250 would be fine. The 200 was really nice, but I just wanted a touch more torque and power to go up some of the hills with my fat ass on them. So we'll see what happens, and I shall be in touch. I'll get back to you very soon. Alright, I've also added a TSP 2-stroke performance head with the low compression insert instead of the medium compression. I've put the idle screw in, but as an added protection for vibration loosening the screw, I've put a whole heap of Teflon thread tape onto that thread of the idle screw, so that look, it was Loctited beforehand, and you know, Loctite's there for a reason. It does have a spring on the shaft of the screw to hold things in place with vibration, but I've put thread tape on there to hopefully stop any vibration issues, to assist the spring as well. To pull out the old idle grub screw, I did the same as what I found someone else on YouTube had also done it. They'd used a soldering iron. I've got like an 80 watt fat tips soldering iron, and all I did was put it onto the little block where the screw goes on. I just had to hold the throttle open a little bit so I didn't burn or melt any of the plastic throttle cable guides, and that was enough to break down the red thread lock top, and I could unscrew the grub screw. So I've set the idle in my shed, and I'll use the air screw today if I have to get the mid throttle response that I need to out of the bike. Step number 1 to suspension: don't forget your bloody tools. Not my haste, but I've left my tools on the bench in the shed, so I can't change anything. So hopefully it's pretty close. So this is just going to be a test ride and see how the head goes anyway. And the next ride can be how to do your suspension. Sorry about that. Very soft. I don't know if I'm a fan of the front brake yet. One, two. Two. Is this recording? Rightio, so a little bit soft in the front end, so the only one I can play with is compression, because it's the only finger adjuster I've got. I'm just about getting carried off with freaking marsh flies out here. I'm just going to ride this backwards and forwards. I'm not... My 200 I loved. I know how that rides, so this will take a little bit getting used to. Very plush / soft front, so we'll see how it goes. give in the front, so we'll change the back. Back one. See how that makes it. I don't know what these preloads do. Don't even spin, does it? Work that out later. Should spin. I don't. Sort that out. Definitely feels like a bigger bike. Very soft. Don't work out whether it's too soft or I might turn the handlebars forward as position until I've got them forward, but now I also want to test out the shock to see whether I've got enough preload, enough mid-speed rebound to see if it'll control the kick. So I know there's a log here. Probably handles it better than my bike. I've got it sitting in mat 2, which is supposed to be the safe mat, more fuel, so less aggressive, I believe. The ground is so slippery out here. Very slippery. Probably not positioning my body right either. Very soft. Happy with the shock though. I know it's only 50cc more, but it feels more stronger. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the suspension so far. It's too hard to tell because it's so slippery. You can't really push because your front end just plows through these corners. I'm going to ride up. I've done no exercise, no riding. I'm as fit as I'm unfit as hell. I'm going to ride up, probably do some track maintenance, cut some trees that I hit my head in all the time, and then come on back and see how it goes. So when I was home, I pretty much set, because I'd revalved the bike, revalved the suspension, I set all the clickers in around the 12 mark. 12 rebound, 12 compression, 12 in the rebound, in the slow speed, maybe a 10.5 or 2 turns out on the high speed compression on the shock, and 15 on the rebound and the shock. Then all I did was pull in front of, I've got a sliding door, so I'm trying to make sure that the bike's balanced. So by balance, when I stand on the pegs and bounce, oh look, there's a Christmas spider. Come on. When I bounce, I want it to go down, the seat to go down level and come back up level. So if the front end's too fast, it'll go down faster and up faster than the rear. So you just play around with your clickers in the front here to either slow the compression down to match the rear or speed it up. I want it pretty active because of all the rocks I'm doing here, so it's quite soft, my suspension, but I've valved it so that hopefully when it hits the damping it needs to, it's going to provide the hold up I need. And then I'm just riding by feel. I can't change anything out here. I've left my bloody tools at home, so yeah, I'm pretty much just taking for a spin, getting used to it. The handlebars I've put in the forward holes here, but I've put it so that you can either put them forward or forward and back with the offset inside these clamps here. So when I get home, I'll move them forward as well. They're a little bit short when I'm standing, but probably okay when I'm sitting. It's actually quite nice when I'm sitting, but I don't sit very often, so. And then what else? That's pretty much it. I'm sweating already. All the water's still in the head, so that means the O-ring's holding. So yeah, I'm just going to go down the valley on the other side. There's a tight track over there where the trees hang really low, and you've pretty much got to put your chin on the handlebars to go under them. So I'm going to go around there and chop them all down, chop all the trees so I can actually stand up riding through there. It's a well-ridden track. It's just not very many people probably maintain it. So it does feel like a doughy engine, like it's. When you rev the 200, it's instant. Well, this feels a bit flat on the bottom. And of course, if I got my screwdriver, I'll do the air screw, but I don't, so. I think that's fine. It's just off the bottom. It seems very doughy. Beta, the start button was close to the throttle, so I started. With a shock though, that's amazing. Rightio, I've done my gardening, it's getting really hot now. Looks like I've got a counter shaft seal leak as well, so I've got to fix that up, but it's not a day that I really want to be riding in the bush anyway. So we'll just do a U-turn. I don't like how the start button's so far away from my thumb, but anyway. Look, we can stand up. Don't like that. I'll put these preloads to 3, they're horrible. It only works when you get off the bike. Maybe. Yucky. No fucking all that holly stuff in your shirt. Definitely a bigger bike to throw around. Exits here somewhere. Hopefully. Sorry spiders.